The clock is ticking and Dexter's world is on the edge of collapse. One wrong move, one slip of control, and everything he has built could come crashing down. But this time, it isn't just another killer in his path. It's not another shadow from Miami's underworld. No, this time, the man hunting Dexter is someone who once stood beside him, someone who carries the badge of justice and the memory of blood. The question now is simple yet deadly. When angels return, do they come to save you or to destroy you? The last episode left us with a storm building in the distance, and in episode 9 that storm finally breaks open. Dexter has always lived in the space between predator and protector. For years he hid his dark passenger beneath the mask of a quiet, controlled man. But that mask is cracking and the cracks are spreading faster than ever. The return of Angel Batista isn't just a face from the past, it's the sound of chains rattling, pulling Dexter closer to the edge of his downfall. Batista was always sharp, always committed to justice, and now, years later, he is sharper than ever. His eyes are focused, his instincts alive, and his suspicion heavy. He isn't walking into Dexter's life blindly. He knows the scent of blood, and he knows when something doesn't add up. Episode 9 sets the board like a chess game with only a few pieces left. On one side is Dexter, still trying to live in two worlds. A father trying to guide Harrison, and a hunter bound to his own code. On the other side is Batista, driven by memory, truth, and a desire for closure that has haunted him for years. Every scene drips with the feeling that the walls are closing in. The past Dexter tried to bury is no longer buried. It has clawed its way back to the surface, and now it stares him right in the eyes. The promo teases us with shots that speak louder than words. The camera lingers on Dexter's face, his usual calm cracking into moments of panic. His eyes dart like a man who knows he's running out of places to hide. Blood drops hit the floor like a ticking clock, each one reminding him of the countless secrets that are no longer safe. The title of the episode, Touched by an Angel, isn't just clever writing, it's a direct reference to Batista himself. He isn't just an old friend returning. He is the angel of truth, the figure carrying the light that can burn through all of Dexter's lies. But what makes this setup even more intense is Harrison. We see him torn, confused, and perhaps beginning to realize who his father truly is. For Dexter, Harrison is both the reason to keep fighting and the ultimate weakness that could cost him everything. A single look from his son carries more weight than any blade Dexter has ever held. In those looks, there's fear, doubt, and maybe even betrayal. If Batista can reach Harrison, the battle may already be lost. The setup is layered with foreshadowing. We hear voices from the past, echoes of names long gone: Lagerda, Deborah, Rita, all shadows that Batista carries with him for every life Dexter took, every cover-up he performed. There's a thread leading back to him. And Batista, patient and relentless, has begun to pull those threads together. Dexter isn't just facing suspicion. He's facing the weight of an entire past finally demanding justice. As the promo unfolds, we catch glimpses of Dexter's ritual tools. They are no longer instruments of control. They are reminders of how deep he has fallen. The darkness that once made him powerful now feels like a trap. For the first time, Dexter's control is slipping, not just because of an enemy, but because his enemy knows him. Batista doesn't just suspect a killer, he suspects Dexter Morgan, the man he trusted, the man he once called a friend. That betrayal cuts deeper than any knife, and it sets the stage for a confrontation that feels less like a cat-and-mouse chase and more like Judgment Day. This first act of the promo tells us one thing clearly: the endgame is here. Every secret, every lie, every drop of blood has led to this moment. Dexter is no longer the hunter in control. He's the man being hunted. And as the screen fades on Batista's voice, steady and sure, we realize the angel has finally touched down. And his wings cast a shadow that even Dexter cannot escape. The air in episode 9 grows heavier with every passing second. Dexter has always prided himself on control, on keeping both sides of his life balanced with surgical precision. But in this chapter, that balance begins to collapse, and the cracks are impossible to ignore. The promo shows us a man who is no longer the Predator hidden in plain sight, he's now the hunted, circling in his own cage of lies. Every choice Dexter makes in this episode carries a price, and those prices are stacking against him. Faster than he can manage. The heart of the conflict comes from the clash between two worlds. Dexter's role as a father and his identity as the Bay Harbor butcher. For years he has tried to merge the two, believing he could guide Harrison while still obeying his dark code. But the reality is cruel. Harrison is not a child anymore. He is a teenager staring directly into the shadows his father casts. And, in this promo, Harrison's expressions say more than words ever could. His jaw clenched, his eyes wavering between admiration and fear. It's clear he is torn. He wants to believe in Dexter, but how do you trust someone when their very hands are soaked in blood? The show teases moments where Harrison becomes more than a witness. He becomes the fulcrum of Dexter's fate. Batista knows this, and we catch hints in the promo of their potential interaction. Batista's calm authority is a stark contrast to Dexter's frantic energy. He doesn't need to scream or threaten. His very presence is enough to shake the foundation of Dexter's double life. When Batista looks at Harrison, it isn't just curiosity, it's strategy. He knows children see things adults try to bury. If Harrison slips even slightly, Dexter's carefully constructed mask could shatter for good. But this rising conflict doesn't stop at family. The world outside is pressing in. Police lights flash like warning beacons, a reminder that the law is closer than ever. The promo cuts to shots of evidence boards, case files, and Batista staring at a photo of Dexter with a look that's less suspicion and more certainty. He isn't asking if anymore, he's asking how do I prove it? This subtle shift is deadly because it means Batista has already made up his mind. And that makes him more dangerous than any serial killer Dexter has ever faced. For Dexter, the tension grows unbearable. His rituals, once calm and methodical, now feel rushed, frantic, desperate. We see quick flashes of him sharpening blades. His hands shaking slightly, an uncharacteristic detail that speaks volumes. His once cold precision is now infected with doubt. It's not just about staying ahead of Batista. It's about keeping Harrison safe from the fallout. Because deep down, Dexter knows the truth. If his son sees everything, if Harrison fully understands what his father is, then Dexter won't just lose his freedom, he'll lose the one person who makes his life worth living. The title, Touched by an Angel, grows heavier in meaning as the conflict builds. Batista is not just a man chasing justice. He becomes a symbol of inevitable truth. Like an angel standing at the gates, he represents judgment, clarity, and light. For Dexter, who has always thrived in darkness, that light is blinding. The irony is sharp. He has spent his life touching others by his own twisted sense of justice. But now, he is the one being touched, the one being judged. Visually, the promo amplifies this tension with contrasting imagery. On one side, Dexter stands in dimly lit rooms, shadows swallowing half his face. On the other, Batista is framed in clear light, his silhouette strong, his eyes unwavering. The symbolism is powerful. The hunter and the hunted, the shadow and the light, predator and angel. And somewhere in between lies Harrison, caught in the crossfire of two men representing two very different versions of truth. As the promo crescendos, we see a moment that defines the rising conflict. Dexter standing over his tools, the plastic wrap glistening under the dim light, only to pause, hesitate for the first time in what feels like forever. That hesitation is dangerous. It's the sign of a man losing grip, a predator doubting his instincts. And in the world Dexter has built, doubt is the beginning of the end. Episode 9 isn't just another step in Dexter's story, it's the unraveling of everything. The tension in this section shows us clearly. The hunter is cornered, the sun is slipping away, and the angel of justice has spread his wings. This isn't just conflict, it's destiny sharpening its blade. Asterisk. There's a reason this episode is titled, Touched by an Angel. It's not just a clever nod to Angel Batista's return. It's a theme that haunts every frame of the promo. Angels, throughout history, have been symbols of light, judgment, and mercy, but also destruction. In the Bible, angels don't always come to save. Sometimes they come to smite, to bring fire and finality. And in episode 9, Angel Batista embodies that duality. To Dexter, he is both a ghost of the past and the messenger of an ending that can no longer be avoided. The promo leans heavily into this imagery. We see flashes of wings, not literal ones, but symbols layered into the visuals. A mural of a broken angel, feathers drifting into pools of blood, and Harrison standing beneath a neon cross, caught between purity and corruption. These images are not accidents. They tell us that this story has reached a point where morality is no longer gray. It's black and white, shadow and light, sin and judgment. And Dexter is standing in the middle, knowing full well which side of the scale he belongs to. For years, Dexter has lived by his own code, convincing himself was doing the work of justice. He hunted killers, punished monsters, and believed he was making the world safer. In his mind, he was an angel of death dark, yes, but still serving a higher balance. But the truth that Batista represents cuts deeper. Dexter was never an angel. He was never justice. He was simply a man controlled by his own hunger, justifying bloodshed with a fragile set of rules. Batista's presence shatters that illusion. When Batista speaks, when he looks at Dexter, it isn't just as a cop, it's as a man who refuses to let the past stay buried. He is the angel with the torch, and his light burns away the lies. The motif also plays through Harrison. The boy has always searched for meaning, for someone to guide him, and in Dexter he saw a savior, a father who could make sense of his own violent urges. But episode 9 teases a dangerous shift. As Harrison watches his father unravel, he begins to question whether Dexter is a protector or a corrupter. The angel motif becomes personal for him. Is he destined to follow in Dexter's bloody footsteps, or is Batista the light that can pull him away? That conflict makes Harrison more than just a side character. He becomes the battlefield, where darkness and light collide. The promo uses sound to amplify this symbolism. A faint, almost choir-like hum builds under the tension, distorted, eerie. Not pure. It feels like the echo of a hymn twisted into something darker. And then, just as we see Batista appear, the sound sharpens, clear, as though the chaos has finally found a counterbalance. For the first time in a long time, Dexter is not the voice of order, he is the voice of chaos. And Batista, the so-called angel, is the one who brings clarity, but the angel motif isn't meant to comfort. The imagery is harsh, almost apocalyptic. We see fire reflecting in Dexter's eyes, the outline of wings behind Batista as he steps into a crime scene, and Harrison's shadow stretching long under a cross of light. It suggests that this isn't a battle Dexter can win. Angels, in stories, don't fight fair, they are instruments of destiny. And Batista feels less like a man investigating and more like fate itself, walking toward Dexter with each passing scene. One of the most chilling moments in the promo ties this all together. A brief shot shows Dexter cornered, his hands bloodied, staring at a wall where angel wings are painted in graffiti. For a split second, his body lines up with the mural, making it look as if he himself has wings, but they are crooked, broken, soaked in red. It's a cruel visual reminder. Dexter once saw himself as the Avenger, the dark angel delivering judgment. But now those wings are tainted, hollow, and false. And Batista's true wings pure, unyielding, righteous are about to clip his flight for good. The angel motif is also ironic. Throughout the series, Dexter mocked religion, mocked the idea of salvation, mocked morality as a rigid system that didn't understand people like him. But in this episode, he is forced to face it, not in sermons or abstract debates, but in the form of a man who will not bend. Batista is the angel of judgment standing in his path, and Harrison is the innocent who might be pulled into the light. It's not about Dexter's code anymore. It's about whether his son will be saved from becoming the next dark passenger. And so the angel motif isn't just a metaphor, it's a warning. Episode 9 doesn't whisper hope. It screams inevitability. For every life Dexter has taken, every excuse he has crafted, every ritual he has perfected, there is now an angel watching, waiting, ready to bring fire. The light has finally touched the darkness. And in that touch, Dexter feels not salvation, but the burn of judgment, Asterisk, the storm that's been circling for 8 episodes finally strikes in episode 9. Every cut of the promo, every shadow, every beat of music drives home the same truth. This is no longer Dexter the Hunter's game. This is Judgment Day. And for the first time in years, Dexter isn't calling the shots, he's scrambling to survive. The teaser doesn't just show us danger. It bleeds inevitability. We begin with images that speak louder than dialogue. Dexter, alone, standing in the middle of a dimly lit room, blood dripping from his hands. His breathing is heavy, uneven, no longer the steady calm of a killer in control. On the other side, Batista walks through a crime scene, his eyes sharp, his posture unbreakable. Between them, the world feels like it's shrinking. Every hallway, every street corner, every dark alley seems to push them closer and closer together. The final confrontation isn't just hinted at, it's promised that the tension peaks with Harrison. In the promo, we see him caught in the middle, his face shifting between fear and defiance. He is no longer the boy who looked up to his father with blind admiration. He's a young man questioning whether he can trust the man he calls Dad. The camera lingers on Harrison's hands clenched, trembling as if he's ready to make a choice of his own. Will he side with his father, embracing the darkness? Or will he turn toward Batista, toward the angel of justice? This decision feels like the true climax of the story, because whichever way Harrison leans, Dexter's fate will follow. The imagery in this teaser grows harsher, more final. Dexter's tools, his knives, the plastic sheets, the syringes are shown in rapid flashes, but they don't look like weapons of control anymore. They look like relics, fossils of a past that is dying. The promo almost mocks them, lingering on their shine, then cutting to Batista's unwavering gaze, as if to say, these tools mean nothing now. The truth is sharper than any blade. One of the most haunting shots in the teaser is Dexter standing in an abandoned building, the walls covered in cracked paint and faded murals. Behind him, the faint outline of angel wings once again aligns with his body, but this time they are crumbling, broken, falling apart as the camera shifts. The symbolism is undeniable. Dexter's illusion of being a dark angel of justice is collapsing. His wings are gone, and all that remains is the man underneath, a killer exposed. The final showdown. Tease grows louder with sound. The promo's score builds into a pounding rhythm, almost like a heartbeat on the edge of breaking. We hear Batista's voice, low and steady, cutting through the noise. I should have seen it sooner. But I see it now. That line alone is enough to send chills. It's not a threat, it's a verdict. Batista isn't chasing anymore. He's delivering judgment. Dexter, for the first time, looks cornered. His eyes dart, his lips tighten, and his voice, usually calm and cold, is tinged with desperation. The promo doesn't show us the exact confrontation, but the implication is crystal clear. Dexter and Batista will meet face to face, and when they do, it will not end quietly. Whether it's in a courtroom, a blood-soaked room, or a father-son betrayal, this showdown is the climax fans have been waiting for. And then comes the line that seals the teaser. A whisper, barely audible, layered over the last shot of Dexter's face. Every angel brings light, but some bring fire. The screen cuts to black, the logo for Dexter Resurrection slamming onto the screen, and the music halts abruptly, leaving only silence, a silence heavier than any scream. This is not just another promo. It's a warning. Episode 9 is the moment. Everything breaks. The hunter becomes the hunted, the father becomes the judged, and the angel Batista becomes the executioner of truth. Dexter has danced with shadows for years, but this time, the light has found him. And no code, no ritual, no clever escape may be enough to save him. The teaser promises us one thing. The final showdown isn't about whether Dexter will kill again. It's about whether he can survive the judgment of an angel who has come not with mercy, but with fire. And as the silence lingers after the screen fades, the audience is left with one chilling thought. This could truly be the end of Dexter Morgan.